sat there with a crowd of people around me and they're all chatting, talking. And out the corner of my eye, I see a kid sat there with a backpack on. And I'm looking across and I spoke to my mate, Freestyle. I said, who's that kid over there? And he said, he's an up-and-coming MC. His name's Noble. And I felt sorry for him because he was just sat there on his own. And I went, Noble, come and sit with the layman. And I put him next to me with this group of people around us. And I could see his face. He was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. You're listening to the IE Media Podcast.
On today's episode, I'm joined by Ash Noble. He's a man of many talents, up-and-coming DJ, producer, MC, actor, youth worker, many more which I've probably missed out, but we will get deep into Ash's story today. And a very special guest that's also come along with Ash, but we'll save that for later in the show.
Yeah, save him for later, definitely.
So, Ash, how's it going, man?
Yeah, really good. Proper buzz to be here, so thank you for having me on.
I was absolutely blown away when you said you'd come on the podcast because I just seen so much potential in you and everything you were doing. And
yeah.
I tuned into your YouTube live and listened to some of the stuff you were talking about.
Yeah, the one of many YouTube lives.
Yeah. And I thought, let's see if this lad's up for a podcast and to talk about one of the many projects that he's involved with.
I know.
And one very special project is the HullEnders, which we will get into.
Yeah. Well, you blew my mind reeling everything off. I was like, whoa, do I actually do that many different things? And then I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
So I think it's important for the listeners and the viewers to get a deeper insight into Ash's life and what's led him to the projects he's involved with today. And yeah, where's your journey start, man?
Well, I think my journey actually starts before I was even born. So there's stories that my mum has told me about her listening to music while she was pregnant with myself, and I'd be kicking away, so raving away inside the stomach. So, looking back and hearing that is probably early signs that I was even into music back then, which is probably a reason why I'm so into music now. And growing up as a kid, my parents, they were sort of heavy ravers, so they were out all the time. And back in them days, the sort of early, mid to late 2000s, it was all CDs. So you'd go to raves and, you'd get a mixed CD. So even though I wasn't going to the raves, I was like listening to the CDs, what they'd got from the raves, whether we're going shopping in the car, getting the lift to school. And then there's all the house parties I'd witnessed that they'd drag me to when they obviously couldn't get a babysitter. So I'd end up going along, playing the PS2 in someone's front room while they're all session in the kitchen and all the pumping tunes are going, the house music, the trance music. So I think I was just influenced by it for, the majority of my life. And I've done loads of different things in life, but it just kind of feels like the music's always made sense. Yeah. It's always worked, and I've always decided to stick by it. And the good things have always come through music rather than other things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen music just completely change people's lives.
Oh, it does. It's mad how something can just change someone. Just a simple sound going into someone's ear can transform someone's life.
It's all like frequency and vibration. Yeah. It does have an effect.
I mean, I didn't used to know a lot about that, and then a good friend of mine has sort of educated me over the years, about vibrations, frequencies. It was just sounds to me years ago. Yeah. Now I obviously see it in a bit more of a different light. You might remember, the Ministry of Sound annuals used to come out every year. So obviously they would get bought, and it was listening to them in the car. If we was in the house, the music channels on TV, they were always on Clubland TV when that launched. And I do remember my mum had a little, it was kind of like a CD mixer. Not that good, but it was all right, mainly just for playing CDs, not mixing. But that was always on, CDs playing.
Sound like cool parents.
Yeah. Well, just ravers, really. Just, music lovers. My mum more than my dad. My dad's more a motorbike head, but my mum would drag him to raves and events, and she'd want to be partying and You know, he'd want to be sat at home watching the next race meeting on telly, but he'd get forced to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, just listening to music really, growing up, CDs. When my mum finally split up from my dad, my stepdad had a pair of Technics. So I was sort of fascinated at going on them. Not really mixing at that point, just fascinated by putting the record on and playing it. And just pretending I'm on the radio, going on the mic and saying this next track's coming in. My mum used to get sick of it, fed up of me going on the mic and announcing the same record as I'm playing it over and over again. So
I bet they're
crazy.
super proud of you now, though, for everything
Yeah,
you're doing.
yeah, it's come a long way from that day of playing that same Billie Jean bootleg on a white label. So yeah,
now
definitely.
you're remixing it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did attempt Billie Jean once as well.
Oh wow!
But sadly didn't carry on with it, go any further.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you've got enough projects to be carrying on with.
If you went on my computer, it's just full of projects where I've started something and maybe not being able to find a way to carry it on, so I've put it on a back burner. And the projects are built up, and some of them get finished, and some of them probably never will.
Yeah, well, I can say that the ones that do get finished do sound very good.
I've noticed that. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm happy with them, which is obviously why I put them out there. So.
And you seem to have picked up music production quite quickly, because I know myself, it took me many, many years. I'm still not quite there, still part of the journey.
I don't think you're ever there. You know, there's always stuff to learn. Yeah. You know, and I've heard a lot of bigger artists even say that, who have, you know, they've sold platinum albums or whatever, and, you know, they say, like, you're still learning, and, you know, it's a true thing, you know. You can always find something new in the production software that you never knew you could do. Yeah. You know?
100%. Yeah. Would you have any words of wisdom for any, like, young, new sort of producers that were getting into it and maybe struggling with certain things, or maybe a few things you wish you knew when you first got into it?
Well, I think a big one for me is keep going. You know, a lot of people decide not to keep going because it takes a while, but I'm a big believer that if the passion's there and the passion's strong, you'll keep going. And, like, you've got to think of, like, the reasons why you want to do it as well. Yeah. You know, and sort of just watch a lot of videos. YouTube's helped me massively. You know, you can go on YouTube now and there's thousands of videos, FL Studio, and they show you how to do things. And, you know, it's really good. Yeah. Watching videos, learning things. Don't rush to get your first track out there. You know, work on it, make it sound good. You know, even send it to friends and just say, what do you think of this? You know, have a listen for me, rather than putting it up online, because people are, you know, they're quick to judge. You put something up and then, you know, it can get sort of shared around as being, you know, like a bad project.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't always maybe necessarily give you the best starting point. No. Whereas if you've got like a close friend, have a listen to this and tell me truthfully, you know, and then keep working on it.
Yeah, it's definitely the best way.
Yeah, it's a good direction, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I seen somebody posted, I won't mention names, but somebody quite big in one of the music genre scenes, and they were poking fun at sort of new producers that were posting clips of their music up that weren't completely mastered, and, how cringe is this? And I thought, you know what, that's not right, because the music scene is about the new producers and everybody. Yeah, exactly. Keeps it going, doesn't it?
And the thing is, there would have been a time where they sounded like that themselves, you know, when they haven't learnt stuff, and they should know from the journey that they've been on that for that person, that's the beginning of their journey, where they are going to make mistakes and something isn't polished up. Yeah. You know, so it's a bit...
Yeah, so it just pushes you to keep going, doesn't it? And
keep
the scene alive, kids.
Yeah, because, you know, these big people, you know, they get old, and obviously one day they are going to retire, and, you know, they are going to chuck in the towel, so the new people need to come through.
And it's really exciting times with music production, because
definitely
it's come such a long way, hasn't it?
It's growing, and there's people every day downloading, you know, software and getting into it, so it's really good in that sense.
So you're DJing?
So I DJ as well. I originally started DJing about 10 years ago. Found Virtual DJ for free on Windows, started playing around with it. My dad sort of said, "Oh, what you playing on there, son?" Sort of thing. Said, "Oh, it's like a free DJ software. I'd quite like to get into it." So it was like, "Right, we'll get you a little controller for Christmas." So he got me a Tractor Control S2. I was proper buzzed. Got speakers, little disco lights.
Awesome.
Had a shed at my nan's house, so we sort of turned that into a little studio. Thought I was the next Avicii. You know, little videos recording on the phone, fist bumping, going like mad, you know, really loving it. And then sadly faced a lot of bullying through it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I set up my social media account, decided to push myself as a DJ, called myself DJ Madhead at the time. Don't know why I ever thought of that name.
Yeah.
And then a few months down the line, changed it to DJ Raver. But yeah, just started trying to push myself online, and, you know, a lot of people started from school, started bullying, taking the mick, you know, trying to have a laugh, but taking it too far. And one friend who I was quite close to said she wanted to book me for a house party. It was a birthday. And at the time, my controller, it was connected to a big computer. So obviously I didn't want to cart that to the party. Too heavy.
Of course.
My nan was thinking about getting herself a laptop, so she decided to, you know, break the balance of a bank and get it early so I could get this software on it and go to this party. So we got the laptop, paid someone to put software on it for us because I didn't know. I was Scooby what I was doing at the time about downloading software. The guy gave me a load of playlists full of music as well, so I could play all these tunes at the party. It got to the day of the party, I hadn't heard anything. And then it got to about an hour before the party where I was texting, like, you know, is this still going ahead? Is this still happening? And I got some, like, real snotty reply, like, do you think we'd ever really actually want to book you? We've got somebody else.
That's
you know,
awful.
I can't believe you actually thought we wanted you. And,
Wow.
you know, I took it to heart at the time. And
As you would.
yeah, I stopped using the music equipment, went to college. It was collecting dust. My dad was like, are you using this anymore? I was like, no, not really. So we put it on the Facebook marketplace and got rid of it.
Oh, no way, man.
So,
Well, the joke's on them now. 'cause
well, yeah, the
you're
joke's
getting
on them
booked
now.
everywhere and knocking out some banging tunes.
Yeah, it's all changed now. And funnily enough, that person texted me not that long ago, like trying to say how proud she was and, you know, you've come so far. And I went along with it, but I just thought it's so fake, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you're just surprised that more than anything, you know, that it's changed from what it was to what it is. So...
yeah, and it should just make you keep going as well.
Yeah. But I mean, I think at the time it hurt more as well because it was a close friend.
Of course,
Not like just some random stranger trying to book you for a party. It was like an actual friend who you've known for a good few years, who you think, you know, they actually would want you at their party. You know, and then it's a friend and they actually don't, and then they turn and can be so horrible when you think, yeah, this is a friend, you know.
Yeah. Well, you can be rest assured, mate, that a lot of people do want you at the parties. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've seen the amount of flyers your name's popping up on.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy now, so they obviously want me there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep on it, man. Keep on the path. And
Yeah, all the time. Got to keep going. No way of stopping now.
So have you got any exciting projects on the music side you're working on? Any releases coming? And
Well, there's a track coming out. It's a couple of weeks prior to recording this. Goes out on Excite Digital, and I'm quite proud of it actually. Because it's a remix of a track, and I've wanted to do something with it for ages because the original just gives me goosebumps. And it's the Energy 52 Cafe Del Mar, so I've always wanted to do something with it. And I was looking around, like, as many people remix this, and I couldn't really find anything. There was an Alex K one from years ago that I think it was just on an album, so it's like really hard to get the full version for mixing. So I thought I want to do something with this because I just absolutely love it. And I played around for numerous weeks and sort of gave up and restarted, and then finally got something that I was actually quite happy with. And I was like sort of more or less ready to go with the tune, and I thought it just needs some like vocal or some like little vocal hook, even if it's just like a rap one shot or something. So I started playing around and I found this old like vocal, I think maybe from a disco tune or something. So I was just playing around and I put it on the track just to see what it sounded like, and it sounded really good, like really blew me away. So I kept it in. I can't remember the name, like the artist of the vocal, but it's called Take Me Higher. And it's just amazing, and it fits the track really well. And it like just gives a whole new aspect on that tune.
Oh,
like from being a trance classic to being this sort of clubby, bouncy, but with this like old disco vocal that just seems to fit really well.
I look forward to hearing that one.
Yeah, it's really good. So
and we'll make sure as well that we leave all the links to all your socials and
yeah,
all that stuff.
we can plug away definitely.
Yeah.
There's one coming out next year, which is a collab with a friend of mine from Doncaster called Joe Dunn. I sort of seen him at events and raves, and I didn't realise he was producing. And then I DJ'd at the Hull Fair on the Walsers. And there was like a free night where not many people was due to come on and do it. So I invited a couple of friends from Doncaster to come down. And one of my friends said, I'm bringing my mate Joe. Do you think he might be able to get on? I said, I can't promise it. I can't guarantee it. But, you know, I might be able to get him 10 minutes or something. And as it turns out, I was able to get him 10 minutes. So he come into my inbox like, you know, real grateful. Thank you for this opportunity. And got talking about production and stuff. He sent me some of his tracks and I said, you know, we should make a tune together. So I found this old track called It Could Just Be the Bassline. It's like an old school niche bassline track. Really liked the vocals, so I sent it to him and said, what do you think of it for an idea? So we started working away on it, and yeah, it sounds really fun, positive. Sounds banging, and that's coming to Excite in January. So
nice.
That's how we're sort of kicking off 2024, if you like.
So you start building your artist profile now, like Spotify and stuff?
I'm sort of attempting that. I mean, I started with Bandcamp because I like Bandcamp. I think it's quite a cool little sort of website, and you know, everyone always goes to Spotify, and so I thought let's be a bit different and try and push more people to come to Bandcamp. Yeah. You know, because I like the layout of the site, I like the way it works, and I think more people should use it. Yeah. Definitely.
Independent artists.
Yeah, definitely. And so many tracks go out on Spotify. You know, my mate said something like hundreds of thousands a week go out, and it's really hard for everyone's track to sort of get the spotlight as well, because so many are going out, and obviously the chart tunes, they'll automatically go on there, and you know, you've got no hope when they're going out, you know, hitting thousands instantly.
Yeah, I suppose it's like trying to get that exposure, isn't it? And awareness to your music and for people to hear it. But I always think that if you just keep on the path and keep doing it,
definitely,
new people will pick you up years down the line.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can make a track and it can get released, but it might not do well until years on end. I know there was someone who did a remix of Dancing in the Moonlight and put it on YouTube. Didn't do all that good, and then years down the line it blew up, and now it's had like a full release. And
wow,
my mate Liam, and he plays it all the time in the car. But it's mad how it went from just that little YouTube song that maybe only had a couple of hundred views to getting thousands of views like 2 years after the release.
That's really awesome. It's inspiring.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen.
That's what I always say. If your art speaks for itself, then people will enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it might take time, but then...
but that's what everything's about, taking time. You know, if you're coming into sort of like doing anything music-wise and you think it's going to happen overnight, it's not, you know. No. Everything takes time. Yeah. You know, that's a big thing you've got to accept. Yeah. That it will take time.
Yeah, especially even like with the production.
Definitely.
I've noticed over time that my ears have changed, like they sort of tune to the frequencies more now, and I can hear, like when I listen back to old mixdowns and stuff, I can hear straight away what's wrong and resonance.
You learn new things, you know, all the time, and then something you've made 2 years ago, you can you can tell just there that it sounds different to what you're making now.
Yeah.
So
I've got a file on my computer and it's literally named "Crap Donk Tune I Made LOL." Literally, I swear to God, it's so bad, but I just keep it as a reference point.
Well, if you go onto my SoundCloud, you scroll right to the bottom. The first ever tune I ever made is on SoundCloud, and I kept it up there because I thought, I could take it down and say it's rubbish to what I'm making now. But, going down the SoundCloud, it kind of gives people an insight of where it started and how it's progressed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of keep it up there like, it's not the best tune, but people can listen to that and then they can go up and listen to something more recent and they'll hear the change.
Yeah, they hear
rather
the
than like,
progression.
take it, why take it down,
Yeah. Yeah, they watch you evolve as well as an
Yeah,
artist,
exactly.
so.
They can physically hear you evolve in each track. So, I keep them up.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I could definitely see some big things coming for your music in the future. I'm not just saying that, like, I can hear it. As a producer, I can hear it,
Yeah. Well, I'll just keep going, I'm always playing around on FL, so I'll just keep going and making things, and where it goes is where it goes.
Yeah.
If people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It ain't going to stop me from making it, whether they like it or they don't. Because I actually physically enjoy making it for myself. And, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it,
Yeah.
So obviously,
And like the best thing as a producer / DJ for yourself will be making a banging tune and then dropping it in your set and watching the crowd react. That's like goosebumps.
Well, that's the thing. Myself and the Layman, a couple of years ago now, we... Darren Styles, they put a competition up to remixes, Come Running or Save Me, and obviously, the best ones would get released, whatever. So me and Layman decided we'd have a go at Come Running, and we sort of did this hardcore tune, and then it the drop goes into a D&B drop, so it's unexpected.
Oh, nice.
So it comes in like a normal average UK hardcore track, and we had a gig at DNA in Leicester. And we dropped it for the first time, and people are raving around just like it's a normal hardcore track. And then it drops into this bit D&B drop, and it just blows everybody away because they don't expect it.
Yeah.
And that was obviously a buzz feeling. Yeah. And I think Layman was on the mic at the time for me, and took a video at the time, and it was just really good. And then we watched it back, and like other DJs were coming up on the stage, like, who's made this?
Yeah.
It was a proper buzz.
That is good.
Yeah, proper buzz.
I can imagine the feeling. That'd be really awesome.
But it's good playing your own stuff on sets and on stage and stuff. But I still like to play a lot of other people's tracks.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they've done so many tracks, they like to go and do like full sets of just their own production.
Yeah.
And I think that's all right. But there's still other great producers out there.
Yeah.
So play a couple of your own, play some of theirs, then play a few more of your own, and then play theirs.
Yeah. Keep it varied.
Keep the set varied, and definitely.
Yeah. So what's it been like going to all these packed out gigs and performing and stuff?
It's been really good because, it's not just DJing, it's MCing for me as well.
And that's how we met, which we can
that's how we met. And then myself and the Layman, we do these like positive reggae tracks under an alias. He goes as Jiggerman, and we perform at like youth events and like small concerts, and that's totally different to being in a rave, but the atmosphere is real. Couple of days ago on Friday, actually, we was a night called Hull Red. It was in the Hull University, and it's like a nightclub night designed for disabled people to come and enjoy nightlife.
Right.
So a lot of disabled people, like, they have to go home when the carer goes home when the clock off shift, and sometimes they want to stay out and witness nightlife. So this night's been put on in the university, and it's designed like for disabled people so they can get in easy enough.
That's awesome.
There's lots of space for them in wheelchairs. They can come and access the night. So myself and Layman, we performed there. There was about 350 people in the room.
Wow.
Doing our reggae tracks and telling a few jokes and stories. It was a real good feeling,
wow.
you know, but so different to raves as well, you know. Now like going to a donk event, you know. But
atmosphere.
amazing feeling. So
yeah, I remember in younger years when me and my missus got together, 17 and 18, early 2000s, and every weekend we was at Wigan Pier.
Yeah.
And that's like where it started for me. With
I mean, for me, I feel a little gutted that I missed them days, you know, of going to them sort of like banging events. I mean, I remember the Alex K CDs coming out, the Ultimate Energies. My mum got quite into them at one point. A big thing what tipped me off was actually the Blackout Crew. There was when they sort of blew up, we put a donk on it, and they released that Time to Shine album.
Yeah.
Like, I was buzzed at that point, and I got it brand new for Christmas, and I was like the happiest kid on earth at that point. You know, trying to sort of learn what they were spitting and spit along to it, and I just loved it. And there was on in the jukeboxes in the pub at them points as well. So in the pub, Mum, you got £1 for the jukebox, so I can go and put a donk on it on. You know, you got all these old biddies having a pint of bitter, and I'm put a donk on it on the jukebox. You know,
it's mad to see them now with the Jax Jones with the release.
I was buzzed when they came back. You know, not all the members from the original days, but it's still good to see.
Yeah, and
definitely.
I think they're performing now and doing a lot of shows.
Oh,
again
they're
and
performing all over. It's crazy.
It's kind of like reignited the scene, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely sort of, especially for the bounce scene, it's made that rise. You know, I mean, it was sort of already doing well in itself. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people, even in the charts, are sort of starting to take bounce elements. And a lot of chart songs coming out are sounding a lot more trancey and bouncy again. Yeah, you know, you've got Billy Gillis with DNA, you know, sort of sounds a bit more harder and faster and a bit more trancey. And that's coming into the charts. And, it's crazy to see.
Yeah, it's good to see as well. Like, keeps the scene alive and keeps us with something to do. And
definitely, definitely.
I'm hoping to get a few more artists, you know, from the donk scene. I mean, I've had Robbie on. Yeah. But, Joe's supposed to be coming on at some point. Joe Deakins,
friend of mine.
Hardcore scene.
Friend of mine. Harasses me a lot. No, I'm only joking. But no, he's a sound person. Been a pleasure to play at his events quite a few times this year. So
and of course that's how we met, wasn't it? So
that is.
I'm going to switch to the wide camera there, and I'm just going to. There'll be no audio, but I'm just going to show a little clip of how we actually met and you performing.
Right. So there's a clip, right?
which is on my TikTok. It's really good, actually.
Right. I'm on TikTok everywhere, believe it or not. I don't personally use the platform myself, but like the amount of times a day I get in my inbox on Messenger, people send me a link like, oh, you're blowing up on TikTok. Someone shared this MC video of you, and I'm like, oh, that one again. They're like real buzzed, but I'm like, I see this all the time, and I don't even go on TikTok, and I know more about what's on there than there's someone who has an account, you know?
Yeah. No, I put it on mine. I had some good feedback, actually. I don't think people expected you were just sort of stood there with a mic, and then just as the drop come in, you just perfectly... and just absolutely nailed it.
Well, I think that's it. I mean, it's one thing I've always sort of not liked about the scene as well, is people expect you to look a certain way.
Yeah,
so people look at me and think, you know, little skinny, specky kid, you know, what's he going to do? And then I come on the mic and start spitting, and I think it does actually sort of blow them away. Yeah, definitely. You know?
Yeah, you're good at what you do as well. That's the main thing.
So thank you.
It speaks for itself.
But I'm buzzed to see this clip. So
so what sort of started your journey with the MCing? What?
Yeah, so the MCing, it's quite a weird journey actually. But obviously at this point I'd given up the DJing. I'd gone to college to learn to be a motorcycle mechanic, which I hated. It was the worst course I've ever done. I felt it was more about it being in the classroom than actually being in a workshop and working on a bike, like, you know, draw a picture of an engine and like, no, I want to repair one, not draw it.
Yeah.
And, you know, redo maths and English, which I'd failed at school. And I just thought, this isn't helping me as a motorcycle maintenance guy. So I obviously didn't enroll for the second year. And I was quite a big gamer at the time, playing PlayStation, and I was on PlayStation one night, and the guy was playing MC Pat Flynn, if you've heard of him. Blew up in Ireland, sort of doing rapping and freestyle videos, and he sort of said to me, like, you should have a go at this. And I thought, no, you're off your head. There's no way I'm going to ever do anything like this. And then a couple of days down the line, it sort of come into my brain, what was he listening to the other day? So I searched it up, and the video had lyrics on the screen. So I started playing it, trying to learn it just for a bit of fun, and sort of learned a bit of the song. And I thought, just as a joke, you know, why don't I see if I can write something? So I wrote something called To The Beat one time. I remember writing it on my laptop and ran downstairs to show me Nan, proper buzzed. I've wrote this MC, Nan. Put it up on Facebook. It was just a black screen because I wasn't confident enough to record myself. And sort of blew up at the time. People from school sharing, people from where I lived in Driffield at the time, they was liking, and it just sort of went from there. I wrote that and people was liking it. I think obviously taking the mick again at the same time, but this time I thought, you know what, I ain't gonna let that bother me. So I just kept going, putting these little MCs out. You know, at the time, they probably sounded shocking and out of time. You can still go back on Facebook and listen to them, like the SoundCloud. I've not deleted a single one to sort of show the progress. And I just kept going, and it got to the point where I thought, you know, I'm doing this now. I love this. So I kept going and kept going. And then I think 2017, I got asked to perform at my local rugby club. They were having like a little do after the rugby match, and I went on between a Black Elvis Presley impersonator and a band, and it did like half an hour, sort of just doing a few little MCs to some like bassline tunes and stuff, and they loved it. They was all buying me beers and paid me for gigging, and sort of filled a little glass with a load of change and proper buzzed off it.
Wow.
And then I met a guy there who he was sort of helping out with the sound there, and he was like, I've got a little studio in my bedroom, come down and we'll do some stuff. So I recorded a few little EPs, and it just kept going from there. From there. And then sort of 2019 was when I really sort of started to blow up with the MCing, with Out in the Garden and Scarborough Beach, which they've both got quite sort of funny stories behind them.
So is that the one that I sent you the other night?
So the one you
came
sent
up
me
on my missus's TikTok feed, and she's like, "Isn't that the lad who you have on your podcast?" It's on my For You, and I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, it is!" Like 95,000 likes.
I know, that's absolutely crazy. So the story behind that is, it was a weekday. I was living at my nan's, and she'd instructed me and said, you know, tomorrow I need you to cut the grass for me. And for whatever reason, I was thinking, right, what could I MC about, you know, to do with cutting the grass? And I was laid in bed at night, and for some weird reason, I don't know why, but I was out in the garden cutting the grass, just came into my head. And I was like, right, what can rhyme with this? And at this point, I'm not going to sleep, so I sat up. And I'm thinking. So I thought I was out in the garden cutting the grass while looking at the next door neighbour's wife's ass. And then I thought, I've got something here. So I woke my mate up on Messenger, and I was like, I'm sending you this little lyric I've wrote so I don't forget it. You know, I can't forget this, because if I go to sleep, I'll forget what I'd said. And then I'll be racking my brain again. So I obviously sent it to him, you know, got up the next day and carried on writing it. And then said, Grandad, I need to sit in your van. So I went outside and sat in his van and recorded with my phone, recorded it, put it up. And pages shared it, and it just started going viral, and it's gone viral ever since.
So people have took it and mirrored it.
Yeah. So like sort of like grime YouTube channels have posted it, Instagram accounts have posted it. There was a big Facebook page called Sound of the Northeast. I think they was the first to put it up. Like, that wasn't, one of my accounts, and that hit something like 500,000 views.
Wow.
Sadly, the page, well, I say sadly, not sadly, but the page got taken down, which I was quite pleased about, believe it or not.
Was you?
Yeah, it's full of bullies.
Oh, right, okay. A bit distasteful.
Yeah. They said, like, do you want to start coming live on our page and stuff? And I thought, yeah, this will be good for me. And, the lives were getting hundreds of thousands of views. And then I was going back and looking on the lives, and you might have like 10,000 views, but like 9,900 of them are like all hate comments. And I thought, like, it's all right getting all these views, but if they're not genuine, what's the point?
Yeah, of course.
So I sort of kicked off a little bit about it, and some of my friends weren't sort of too happy with it, so they reported the page, and it got taken down, sadly.
Good for you, man.
But yeah, I just thought it's full of bullying, so...
Yeah.
But even now that video still gets posted on TikTok at least once a month by some form of account, and then someone will inbox me like, you're blowing up on TikTok, by the way, and at this point I'm like, I'm used to it. It's just crazy. But yeah, and then there's the Scarborough Beach one, which that also still blows up.
I've not seen that one, I don't think.
I regret it, in a lot of ways I wish I never made it, but it's a parody of the Old Town Road song.
Oh, right, okay.
When I did the parody at the time, it was blowing up, the actual song, and people was parodying it, and I was just messing around, like making parodies up of it, and I just come up with take my donkey to the Scarborough Beach, let the kids ride on it for a few quid each, and I thought, this is actually quite funny, and I sat on it for quite a few weeks, and I got in from work one day, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to record it and see what happens, and it blew up, but all the time people ask me, like, spit the Scarborough Beach lyrics, do the Scarborough Beach song, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
No.
I hate it. I wish I'd never done it. I never even liked the original. I just did the parody for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But no, it's not my sort of music, that style of music. So I just sort of used it at the time as a way to try and boost views, because I knew the original was blowing up.
Yeah,
so I thought if I do something here,
It's all part of the journey, and
it's all part of the journey.
You're finding yourself as an artist.
Yeah.
Your sound,
you're going to do things you regret. So
of course, and that's the thing, is when we put ourselves out in the public eye.
Well, yeah,
you
that's
never know
it.
What's
you don't know what eyes are going to be watching. That's that's the thing. But yeah, the lockdown came, and I just thought, for a good 6 years now, I've been putting these freestyle videos up, and I thought, it's time to do something different. So I got back into the DJing sort of through the lockdown, and sort of perfected that when we couldn't obviously go out and rave, and just spend time learning to beat match, and took that path, and So
is that where it started again for you?
Yeah, so this is where DJing sort of started again for me. But sort of at the back of all that, people would still ask me, like, when's the next MC, spit bars?
Right.
So I've sort of tried not to fully give up the MCing, because I still love it, of course. But
and you're still getting bookings.
And I still get bookings from it. So, I decided to still keep it going. But I definitely nowadays, I do prefer the DJing and the producing.
Yeah, definitely. Production's definitely hand in hand, isn't it, with DJing and stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like to get anywhere, even as a DJ, the production's
production is good if you've got your own tracks and people can see you making your own stuff or doing your own remixes. Which I think doing remixes when you start in production is a really good thing, because like midis and vocals, they're already there, and they'll tell you the key and the BPM, so you can time stretch them easily. So you're not just going onto a project where you're trying to make something completely
from
fresh.
Nothing.
And you're thinking, what the hell am I going to make, and what key do I even make it in? And if I'm going to get a singer to sing this, what do I want her to sing it in? With the remixes, it's already there. there telling you the key, the BPM. So it's a good learning curve to
100%.
to start yourself off and start learning tips through, bootlegging and remixing.
And for people who don't know as well, getting into it, you get a lot of remix competitions as well, where they'll give you the stems, and if anything, they're good to sort of break down, aren't they, and see how the elements work together.
Yeah, exactly. Like when Darren Styles released his, it was good to... it was good to sort of see all the parts. And then I watched another big producer, UFO. He was doing something with the remix stems, and he actually said the guitar was out of time, and it wasn't fully in key either. And I just thought, I didn't notice that personally, listening to Come Running for all them years. But, even then, he's got some out of key. So it's really good to learn and hear the parts individually as well in the track. And, stems, remix stems, competitions, they're good way to get yourself out there as well. If you do end up winning it, obviously.
What do you reckon? Where should we go from?
Well, there's the youth work side of things. There's like the funny videos, the HullEnders, the LayToons. There's loads of stuff. There's meeting the layman. That's that's been a massive part of my life. I wouldn't be doing half the things I'm doing now if it wasn't for the layman. So I've got to big up the layman because he's given me such a massive push with everything, confidence, the way I am. Even down to the way I view myself as a person, he's helped massively, and he's always there for tips. Even if I do annoy him at 3 a.m, asking him like, if I do this, will it work? Yeah. And he's like, oh, for God's sake, I'm trying to sleep, Noble. And I'm like, no, but just tell me this. How many blue beans, mate? 5.
He seems like a really good friend. Definitely.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he rags me a lot. He memes me a lot. He's probably memed me more than he's memed anybody else. But I know it's all positive bullying, so I just take it on the chin and try and meme him back. Yeah. Even though it's not as funny as the one he's done of me, it's all fun and banter. Yeah, definitely. And people enjoy seeing it and having a laugh online and commenting on it. So.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that from the way you guys are together in the HullEnders.
Oh, always. Always, yeah.
You can just tell that you're good friends and you're not really having to act that you're, like actors who don't know each other.
Yeah. Well, we already know each other.
Comes across really, really well. So
We'll
get into that, definitely. But first, before we go down the layman route on the HullEnders, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your youth work and stuff.
Yeah, youth work. So... the youth work was a very unexpected path that I was going to take. I never sort of ever thought about taking it. I didn't even really know much about it, to be honest. And but funnily enough, I was signing on. And they sort of said, like, you can go to this place called Goodwin, and they sort of help you look for work, and, they help you with your CV and stuff. And so I thought, all right, I've always needed like additional support with like writing and reading and filling out forms and stuff. And they said like, they'll prep you for interviews, and, you can sort of almost do like mock interviews with them, and they'll sort of get you ready and give you a feel for what it's like. So I went there, and instantly it's just a lovely place. The people there, fantastic. They really do help people, and like I say, they're so nice and kind. So I was there for a good 1.5 years, and the person I was sort of working with who was helping me to look for a job rang me up one day and said, I've got a bit of good news for you. We've got a job going at our place, and it's a music-related youth job. I thought, all right, this sounds quite interesting. She said, would you be available for an interview this Thursday? I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, we're cooking up here now, aren't we? An interview this Thursday. Wow. So I went and had this interview, and it was quite nerve-wracking. And I thought, I don't think I've done too bad. And I got a phone call about dinner time, and sadly, you haven't got the job. So I was like, oh, bit gutting. Yeah. But, I didn't still know too much about really youth work, so I wasn't like mega disappointed. So I just carried on, still carried on going there to get support with work. And I think probably nearly about a month sort of after that, the guy who interviewed me, he was in the building, and he said, can I have a chat with you at dinner time? So I was like, all right, what's this about? And got me in the room, and someone who had got the job must have not enjoyed it for whatever reason, and not kept the job and decided to leave. And rather than them trying to interview somebody else, they said, would you like the job?
God.
So they offered me the job to start sort of in about 3 weeks' time prior to when he told me. And obviously I was buzzed. So started doing this youth journey of helping young people, getting involved in music, running sort of events and projects, podcasts, studio sessions, and it's just been crazy. And it's opened my eyes up to the youth world, and I absolutely love it. I wish when I was getting into music, there was free studio sessions and music places where you can just go and jam out for free. Right. And that's what we offer at work. And, that's awesome. It changes people's lives, people who have never played in bands before, who have maybe only just played guitars at home. They come to these sessions and, instantly they're in that environment of, we use the Polar Bear in Hull, which is an iconic music venue. We run our sessions in there every Monday, and it gives people that experience. They're on a proper stage in a live music venue. They're jamming with other people, so it's like being in a band, and it's just amazing. Yeah. And then the studio, it's a proper kitted out studio. So people who have maybe never been in a studio before, or maybe they've got music ideas, but they don't feel that they're that good yet, so they don't want to spend 70, 80 quid on a studio session if they don't feel the outcome is going to be good. So they can come in our studio for free, and they can get the feel, they can play around. It doesn't matter if they make something or not. They're in there, and they can just get the whole vibe and feel of being in the room and playing around on the pianos. And
sometimes that's enough, isn't it, just to get that little spark?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I like this, and then they want more and more.
It's like a free taste of, what they can get sort of going into paying for a studio. So we kind of offer like the basic, if you're just starting out, come into our studio for free and have a play around, and, hopefully they'll pick up tips and they'll progress as a musician, and then they'll either get their own studio room, or they'll actually pay and go into one where the outcome's going to be worth, what they've paid for the session. Yeah.
Music definitely gives a lot of younger kids, and even adults, but gives them hope, and like a sense of direction, and things that might not be great at home, certain situations. Yeah, exactly. And just having that love for the music and that journey and passion and all the excitement of getting better at it and noticing that you're progressing. It's awesome,
well, even middle-aged men decide, they're going to start DJing, or, they're going to start MCing, or they're going to start playing the guitar, Yeah,
100%. There seems to be a lot of stigma against like older DJs, and you see a lot of, I seen a meme actually today, and it was, when you're in your 40s and you're still a DJ, and it was like pictures and stuff. And you know what? I'm telling the viewers, listeners, I don't care.
No, well, I don't.
I'm 38, 39 in March.
If you've got a passion, if you've got a passion for it, keep going. 100%. I mean, there's a guy, DJ Paul Taylor. He's well into his 60s now. He's promoted a house event called Retro. I think it started in the late 80s. Angels in Burnley, which I think got knocked down and turned into a Wilco's, but R.I.P. Wilco's. But he's still going, and he's in his 60s, and he's somewhere practically every weekend, either with his brand or playing somewhere else. And then again, you've got MC Nats, who is also rocking on a bit now, and he's still at the Warehouse most weekends or other venues, and he's on stage and he's on the mic. So, I don't think with anything there needs to be an age to stop loving something 100%. Or playing something or doing something. If the spark's still there and you enjoy it, keep going.
Yeah, I think it's just like a bit of stigma from the younger kids. You even see it about, like memes about ravers in the 30s and stuff, as if that's like frowned upon now by these young kids.
No, if you want to blast out a donk set at 92 years old, exactly. go ahead and do it. The other residents in the old folks home will probably enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%.
But then you see the same about kids as well, like kids who start DJing, like people hating and memeing like they're going to turn into sesh heads and rec heads when they're older.
Exactly,
just because they're on the decks and they're playing a form of rave music, and you think? Not necessarily.
And people say that to me. They're like, how do you go and DJ at these events for, you know, like all these hours? Because I did one of Robbie's gigs, the Streets of the Stage event that we did. We were supposed to have some other backup DJs, didn't come. So I did the whole 8 or 9 hours.
Jeez.
Of like hip hop, and then we went into a bit of drum and bass after everyone had performed. And then we went into Donk. I thankfully took my hard drive, had all the tunes on. So it was a mad varied night, to be honest.
Well, you can't beat being prepared and having other genres just in case. You never know.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to play that sort of genre, or, you know, a DJ doesn't turn up, or can you cover their drum and bass set? You know, and if you can, it'll work in your favour, because, you know, you've helped that promoter out. You know, you've saved his event, and, you know, saved his back.
Yeah.
So they're going to be forever grateful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The only thing that got me, though, was like going to some of the gigs, and Robbie can vouch for this as well, and you're taking all your equipment, which is like, you know, not to obviously a club setting, but when you're doing an event for someone.
Yeah, like weddings, birthdays.
And then I've got random people I don't know with drinks coming over the equipment.
Oh, I hate that.
One lad spilled a drink down the laptop, and I'm just like, oh, this is a disaster.
Yeah, I hate that.
Someone's come over and they're trying to do the scratching thing while I'm in the middle of a mix. And
Yeah,
it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, don't, you know, you're trying to tell them when they're drunk, like, you know, this cost a lot of money, don't touch it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I want to bash buttons and play around. And no, don't bash buttons.
Yeah, leave it alone.
I bash the buttons, not you.
Yeah.
They call me the button basher.
The button basher. No way. Yeah, so I don't think you're ever too old to enjoy music.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No. I'll be organising a rave in my grave, so...
yeah,
you know
100%.
what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So, we've touched on quite a few different things, but we've not got into some of the other fun and cool stuff that you're involved with,
well,
like the funny clips that you do with Layman, the LayToons.
That brings in the Layman.
And HullEnders and stuff like that. So.
There's one or two things with the Layman. I mean, I touched up earlier about us doing the positive reggae stuff, and obviously we did the... Darren Styles D&B remixes and stuff like that. But yeah, we do a lot of cool, funny stuff. So we do the LayToons, which is we turn ourselves into cartoons, and you know, they're only about maybe a minute and a half long. Sometimes maybe they go a bit longer, but they're just little funny sketches.
Yeah.
You know, I normally tell him a bad joke that isn't funny, or I lecture him about something, or we get into some like random topic and I'm asking like real stupid questions and Layman's like, why the hell are you asking me this? And like, you know, we end up getting into some little funny debate, and we put it into this, you know, sort of minute and a half reel and put them online, and people absolutely love them, you know, laughing at them. When's the next one? When's the next LayToons? Even people wanting to be in it. You know, can we be in a cartoon? And it's crazy.
No, I'll tell you what, I'd definitely be in the HullEnders if you ever, you know, needed some extra.
Yeah, well, the HullEnders is more, you know, we are open with that one to get people more involved, because, you know, it's not just a little minute and a half clip. You know, the minute and a half LayToons are supposed to be just focused on sort of me and Lee, but the HullEnders, you know, more people can get involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, the HullEnders is really fun to do. Yeah. Really fun.
You guys do work pretty well together.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, we do. And the thing is, it was all sort of an accidental joke how HullEnders started.
Right.
So I think a couple of years ago, there was something going off on Facebook, a bit of drama from some people in Hull. And Layman is this funny person who will just try and turn a bad situation into something funny. So he made a meme about drama in Hull and titled it HullEnders. And it was like the EastEnders font, you know, where it's got the font and it's like the bird's eye view of the River Thames and stuff. But he changed it and it was like a bird's eye view of Hull. And he'd put something like when there's drama going off in Hull or something. And then instantly people was laughing, reacting, you should make this into an actual thing. So we planned to do that, and then stuff got in the way. We got busy, never ended up doing it, and then I think we just got a little bit more knowledge on like how we're going to do it a few years down the line, and one day just decided to do it. So we filmed this scene at a graveyard, and it just went on from there. This sort of story that we didn't even really know what it was about, just sort of started happening, and we just kept going with these episodes, and now it's here, a full-on EastEnders parody filmed in Hull with myself and the layman.
Now, not to spoil too much of the story, but I mean, from the opening scene, I get the gist that you were supposed. People think you're dead.
Yeah. So I mean, by now people should have seen like a good amount of the episodes, but the story is I owed money to a guy called Big Mick, and essentially I couldn't see no way out, so I sort of went on the run kind of thing, but kind of made it look like I'd died sort of thing. So there in some past, that wasn't filmed, there would have been a funeral or something for me, people shedding tears, and then obviously HullEnders starts with Layman being at the grave. It's been a year, and I rock up, return in hope to get money to get out of the country. But Layman sadly has maybe not sadly, but has a more different approach of, we're going to take this Big Mick out, and we're gonna solve this instead, and then that's sort of how the how the sort of story starts, and then it goes on from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of trying to keep me safe, so I'm not obviously found and seen by Big Mick, and Layman sort of trying to sort this issue out of this money that I owe. Yeah. So
it's a funny little show, and I've noticed the progression as well.
Yeah, like progression.
Each episode gets longer and better produced.
Yeah,
you can just see like something big's building, like it's got the potential to turn into.
Well, we wanted to obviously make it look like something big's building, but at the same time, we're improving all the time, and
100%,
each episode we're getting new ideas, and even the way we're filming it, for example, we might get an idea about a different camera angle for summer, or taking a scene, maybe filming it a couple more times from different angles, and just playing around. And it's about the point of not just getting the next episode up, but when it does go up, it looks sort of like good and polished. A lot of people ask us like, when's the next episode coming up?
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, like but rather than rush it, we can spend a few more weeks polishing it up, and it'll come out and it'll look a lot better.
Well,
than the previous episode. So, but
I have to ask: is it going to be longer and follow the?
I think
the next one.
The episodes they probably will get longer. I remember Layman saying to me when we first sort of started HullEnders, if we can sort of make each episode around maybe 5 minutes long, then I'll be happy. And then sort of episode 3, I think, was something like 7 minutes. And the 5 minute thing, it's not happening. They're going to get longer as they're going to get better, and we've just got to accept that. I think he was just thinking, God, over 7 minutes of something to edit.
No, I get that, because I can imagine a lot of time and effort goes into even filming 1 minute's worth of footage. I can imagine.
Yeah, sometimes it's not filming, it's the editing that takes up the most time, and it's crazy. But me and Layman, HullEnders, LayToons, memeing each other, going to events together, stuck in the car on motorway journeys together. Just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so I know briefly when we talked over voice clips, you said there's a funny story about how you and the Layman met, or when you and the Layman met.
Yeah,
and I think it'd be good before we introduce him to the show. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is a story behind how me and the Layman met. I think he will probably be the better person than me to tell it, because at the time I'm mesmerised by meeting this guy that can do all these different things that, I probably didn't take a lot of stuff in because I was just blown away, and he'll probably know the story a bit better than me. So let's bring him in to tell it.
Without further ado.
That's it, move over.
Yeah, Layman's interrupting again.
Move over, bruv. Yes, peeps.
Here he is, the legend.
So I've noticed I've been mentioned quite a few times on this podcast, and I think I am the best person to tell this story. So when I came back to the music scene, I started off as a podcaster, and I used to get invited to all events as a guest. And I went to this one event one time, and I'm sat there with a crowd of people around me, and they're all chatting, talking. And out the corner of my eye, I see a kid sat there with a backpack on. And I'm looking across, and I spoke to my mate, Freestyle. I said, "Who's that kid over there?" And he said, "He's an up-and-coming MC. His name's Noble." And I felt sorry for him because he was just sat there on his own. And I went, "Noble, come and sit with the layman." And I put him next to me with this group of people around us. And I could see his face. He was just like, what is going on here?
It was absolutely crazy because I'd been called over to this table, and there's just this real sort of positive, energetic guy. He's talking to everybody. He's telling jokes. He's bringing people together. And I was a bit sort of shy and nervous at the time, but I was like, yeah, this is a good environment to be in. It's happy. It's positive, and it sort of turned from because my mate who had gone and left me to go over to this table and not even said come over, just left me sat on my own. So it was nice, like, to be included.
Yeah, so that is exactly how we met. When I saw him sat there with his backpack, I actually saw a bit of myself when I was younger. So that's a totally different story to touch upon. And then I realised he was into music. He wanted to do something with it. And then I thought for someone like myself who's been in the industry, left and come back, it'd be ideal. So that's how we met. That's how we became friends. And as the music progressed, everything else progressed. And it's been, 3.5 years, 4 years I've known you?
Yeah, it's just, it's about maybe 3 years and 4 months or something.
And looking back, I regret it.
I thought he would say that.
I have nearly thrown this guy out on the motorway, put it that way.
Yeah, you have.
I mean, you've sat here and interviewed him. Has he annoyed you yet?
No.
Let's do one for 12 hours and see what he's like.
Jesus
right, am I done now?
No, you're never done. You're never done. That's why I probably annoy him, because he's never done. I'm always hounding him about something, or
even when he's in bed, I believe.
I probably wake him up, like, Layman, get up.
He does. He'll come to like a production problem or something, or an idea what he doesn't know what to do with, and he'll ring me. I'd be like, "Listen to this. What can I do with this little bit here?" And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to sleep." You know what I mean? I've been busy all day, or I've just come from out of town. And then I'll have to go through it with him because he won't sleep, he won't rest.
No.
If I ring him the next day, I'll be like, I got to bed at 7 a.m. because I was still working on it.
Yeah. So you end up listening to it in the end.
Yeah, I do.
He
finds a way.
Yeah, even like 2 weeks later, like, you still haven't listened to that little bit yet, bruv.
He'll bug me until I actually deal with the issue. That's who he is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, Layman annoys me as well. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I'm practically his diary,
That is true. I get so many bookings in different places, I forget. Yeah. And then I'll text him going, "Oh, what are you doing the next day?" And he'll be like, "Well, you're busy." And I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm like, "Am I?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're at so-and-so, at so-and-so." And he's got this sort of like computerized brain that never forgets little details like times, places, events. Way. Yeah. Because he'll be like, "Oh, do you remember when you met so-and-so artist?" And I'll be like, "Where?" And he'll be like, 2000 and thing, this time, this date, this month.
No way.
Yeah. Well, a good example is actually very recently. I think it was only about 2 or 3 days ago, and I got a text from Layman, and he said, "Easy, bruv, do you fancy going for a meal on Sunday?" And I'm like, "We're podcasting," and then I just get one reply back, "Oh shit."
That's usually what happens to me. I get that busy and that involved in things. Sort of like time schedules and stuff, they just slip my mind.
Yeah.
So I always say to people, if you book me, please remind me. Yeah. Remind me that week where I am.
Yeah, confirmation, as Layman calls it.
If you don't confirm me, I'm not coming. That is my rule.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah. You might book him, but then if he doesn't air out and it gets to near the day and, no message of, "Are you still coming?" And, no, Layman's not coming. Layman's going for a meal instead.
Yeah. It's a good system. It works.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It works for me.
I believe there was a funny story in the car.
Yes.
Coming down the motorway.
Yeah, there is a...
Oh, God, he tells this to everybody.
I know,
Go on, then.
It's so funny. So, funnily enough, when we were coming this way as well, Manchester way on, Layman said, "Do you fancy a road trip?" So, we're leaving Hull, and obviously if you're from Hull, you'll know the main way to get to the motorway is to go down the A63. So we're travelling down, and everything's sort of quiet apart from the radio on in the car. and I'm just sat there looking at where I'm going, that kind of thing, taking in the views. And all of a sudden, I just hear this, and I turn around and look at Layman, and he's dancing around, he's spazzing out, he's having a proper mad raving session in his car. And I'm thinking at this point, is he having a stroke? Is he having a heart attack? You know, is he about to collapse on me and we go into the oncoming traffic? Or, you know, we're going to hit the barricade at the side of the road? You know, what is going on? And it turns out that he was having a cigarette, and he'd flicked it out the window, and the wind had actually blown it back in and blown it down his back. So the cigarette's like going down his back and it's burning his back. So he's obviously spazzing out because he's trying to stub it out. And it was just so weird to witness at the time, but also so funny. Like a guy who's not really what I'd call daft and stupid, quite intelligent actually, just to all of a sudden start just going, making all these daft noises.
All I can say, there's two sides to every story. Yeah. So obviously I flicked a cigarette out, it's gone down the back of my collar and it's trailing down my back. Yeah. So I'm trying to stub it out. I look across to him, I've never seen so much fear on his face. We're doing 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, you don't speed.
We're doing 70 miles an hour, and for me to start panicking, try to get the car under control, because I'm trying to put it out with my own body, I look across to him and the fear on his face, and he's like, Layman, what is it? What's wrong? What is it? And he's
like, I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? And he weren't answering me. He was just,
How can you answer when you're being burnt?
Well, this is it. You know, in the middle of someone having a stroke, how can they answer? And this is why I was thinking, is he having a stroke? You know, someone ain't going to go, yeah, I'm good halfway through an heart attack, are they?
Yeah, well, we survived to tell the tale.
You survived to tell the tale. And I don't die.
It's one of these stories he loves telling everybody.
Yeah. You've never lived it down. What about when you're in the car, if you're having a cig, does he try and make sure you...
No, I'm actually deaf in one ear, yeah? Right. So when I have a cigarette, I open the window. I can't hear him. And what he loves to do is start talking at that point. And I can't hear him. I'll catch one word. I'll be like, what? And he'd be like, nothing.
I think Layman's become a chain smoker on purpose just so he can't hear me.
Method to madness.
I have an extra cig just to put the window down so he can't hear me.
No, I can envision it because I've seen it in the HullEnders. You two driving together and chatting.
But that's what I mean, HullEnders, yeah. That's something that was, like he said, it was born out of a joke.
Yeah.
And I'm a troll. I will admit it. I am a troll online.
A bully.
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far.
Newspaper articles say very differently.
That is a story I'm going to tell. If I ever get interviewed on a podcast, that is a story I will tell. But HullEnders evolved, and he doesn't ever know the storyline. I never tell anyone. So I sit there and I'll think about the next episode, and I usually think 2 steps ahead. So I've already got the next episode planned and the one after in my head and how it's going to progress.
Right.
But I'm so flexible that I can always change things. And so he never really knows how the story's going. And he waits till I've edited it. And then he watches back and says, oh, yeah, that's really good. And he gets an idea then where the story's going.
Yeah.
But at the time of like acting and things, he hasn't really got a clue what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah, because he's only there when he's filming his parts.
So you don't have any scripts or anything?
No. So literally about 2 minutes before we film, Layman will say like, right, I want you to walk from the bathroom to the bedroom, sit down, and maybe like doze off or drink alcohol.
It's the epitome of guerrilla filming.
No way.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm not sat at home studying scripts 7 nights a week to walk from the bathroom.
Yeah, because I think, to be honest, knowing him, if I gave him a script, he'd be so focused on the script that he wouldn't look natural.
Right.
He'd be so focused on getting his lines right.
Yeah,
and being as creative as he is, he'd probably be like, well, I've improvised here and I've changed this and I've added that. And
he'll start thinking about things like, oh, shall I emphasise this instead? And other things will come in.
Yeah, definitely.
Shall I say lol at the end of the sentence?
I can imagine you do a take like that and then you think, oh, hold on, let's do it again. I've got another idea.
Yeah, usually we're quite good, so we only do like a few takes and it's acceptable. Because I'm not trying to create something that's perfect here. It's meant to be raw.
Yeah.
It's meant to look stupid. And that's what's made it work. And what started off as like, we'll do just one clip has now turned into 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish off the first one with 10 episodes and then we'll think about maybe season 2 where I actually bring
I'll have a little break. And so you are still a perfectionist though. Even though you say like it's not perfect, there's loads of times I say like, I like this. This looks good. It can go out. And you're like, no, Noble, it can't go out like this. And then it'll make us.
Well, you know yourself as
couple of times.
Even filming this podcast, you know how you want it to look.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll film something and I think, no, it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Because I've got it all.
Of course.
I vision it in my head, all these scenes one after another, and I think that next scene that I've just filmed, it's not going to flow.
Yeah.
And so I do it again, and he gets frustrated.
I do when we've done it like so many times over, and I'm like, oh God, do we have to do it again?
But there are times when I keep things in. So
yeah.
There's a little scene where he can't say extinguisher, and I kept it in.
I remember that.
It adds to the character, I suppose, doesn't it?
Well, it does, yeah.
Well, the characters are us. That's the thing. We're not trying to sort of like pretend to be other people, because in HullEnders, he's still Noble. I'm still Layman.
Of course, yeah.
So
I wanted to be called Denby, but no.
Yeah, it wanted to be called Denby, and I just thought, that isn't going to roll off my tongue.
Yeah.
Because there'll be so many times where I'm sat there going, "You all right, Ash?" And he'll be like, "No, it's Denby." I will leave it out.
Yeah, I hate Ash.
So do I.
Thank you.
Nah, I'm only joking.
You best be.
So
When we get out of the studio room.
See what I mean? This is it, right? He's got Billy Big Balls because he's on this podcast. He'd never threaten me outside of here.
Whoa. Well, you might witness, innit?
Well, who knows what's coming in HullEnders?
All I'm saying is dispose of your knives in the kitchen.
That's a threat. That's legal, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we've got the evidence.
It's only a joke.
You heard it here first, Judge.
I'd end up stabbing myself trying to stab Lee.
Well, that's probably true. Right, am I done here now?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you later. Thanks for having me up.
Take care. That was funny, man.
Yeah, well, that's the layman for you. Funny sound guy.
Yeah.
Sort of beyond all this banter we have. Yeah, he is a sound guy, As you saw there, we rag each other, but that's just part of what we do, Yeah, the true friendship's there. And I still think behind all that banter, it still shines through.
Yeah, 100%, because you were saying that for your birthday, he picked you up and took you on his journey to a cool-ass gig. And
well, really I think part of it, because I did a surprise for his birthday, and I think sort of after that, it maybe made him think, what could he do for mine? So for his birthday, I planned like a secret meal. He thought it was just me and him going for food, and I organised a few of his friends to turn up like unannounced and surprise him at this meal. And yeah, we had this big all-you-can-eat, and then we went over to another pub after and had a drink. And obviously I don't drink, he doesn't drink, so we had a soft drink. But, some of his friends had one for the road, let's say, but, before they left Hull. But it was nice, it was unexpected.
Yeah.
And then, when it was my birthday, he took me to a drum and bass stroke house event and got me on the mic. And yeah, it was fun.
No,
it was unexpected. I spent most of the journey probably annoying him because I hate surprises. So as soon as someone says, I've got a surprise for you, my brain goes into overload trying to work out what this could be. So I'm there on Facebook looking for events. Is there any events coming up on this day? Can I find a flyer to go, right, Layman, we're going here. And, we're driving down and I'm looking at road signs like, we could be going to Leicester. And then we go past Leicester and we're not going to Leicester. We could be going to Milton Keynes. Oh, no, we've gone past there now. I'm trying to think where we've been, and someone was looking forward to seeing me, apparently, so I was trying to rack, who could it be? Who's looking forward to seeing me? And I thought I'd worked it out at one point and thought we was going to Newcastle. I was going up north, but no, we was actually going right down south. So
no way, opposite ends.
Yeah, completely opposite. So it's crazy.
No, it's nice to see that special bond, though, because I think true friendship like that's really hard to find.
Yeah,
and especially
definitely.
with you guys being into all the same stuff and being able to create stuff together. I really wish some of my mates were into podcasting or music or
Well, that's
anything.
what I wished. I mean, when I moved from Driffield to Hull, and that was one of the reasons, because there was no one really in Driffield doing the things I enjoy, I was DJing, but whose house can I go around to and have a jam with? And then in Hull there was people, come round for a mix. And I thought, this is wicked. This is great,
It's how it starts, definitely.
Exactly, it's how it starts. 100%.
And I think you've got quite a lot of the journey left to go, because I think with music, you're always getting better. It's a constant progression.
Well, that's it.
Definitely looking forward to watching it over the years.
Well, and
not only seeing the artist you are now, you know, obviously being quite young as well, but the artists you're going to also evolve into.
Also,
it's really exciting.
Become.
And I'm honoured to have you on this podcast
thank you for having me. And
before anyone else gets you.
And one thing I will, you know, Layman better watch out. You know, I might be an up and coming artist, but I'm still an up and coming annoyer. So he's got many years of me annoying him left yet. You know, with silly questions, daft jokes. You know, he's going to want to kick me out on the motorway a few more times yet. Hopefully to the point where he maybe actually does. Yeah. You know, he's nearly done it. So let's see if he actually does. You know, that's something I kind of want to... Just so I can put it online and say he actually kicked me out on the motorway.
Do you know what? Friends fall out all the time.
Exactly.
Like, some of the best of friends will annoy each other, fall out, bitch and whinge. But you know what? If 5 minutes later or the next day or whatever, you can just be like... Oh, you're all right, man. Forget that. We're good now. That's friendship.
I will honestly do that depressing video in the rain, walking down the hard shoulder. It'll happen one day.
Oh,
you know,
awesome.
Trying to flag down the lift.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, you know. From only meeting him for as briefly as I have, I don't think he'd ever kick you out on the road.
I don't think so, actually, no. No.
So, honestly, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to come on somewhere and share the past and tell people about some of the stuff that I've done, and people that maybe aren't aware. You know, some people might know me for spitting bars, but they might not realise I'm a youth worker. So, you know, they can watch this and they can see that, and... You know, maybe
or that you're a producer and getting so many gigs. And,
exactly. That's
or an actor.
Acting. They can actually watch me as a cartoon. Like, whoa, when was we able to watch Noble as a cartoon? Yeah. You know, when was Noble signed to Disney? You know. Yeah,
well, I definitely look forward to seeing everything you guys have got planned and coming and following your journey, man.
We're always on social media, so whatever we're doing, you'll see it at some point.
Yeah,
most definitely.
You'll have to make sure you give me all your links and stuff, which I will put into the show notes and descriptions.
Definitely.
And stuff.
Yeah, hit me up on all the socials.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. So I just want to say to everyone, thank you for tuning in, and to all the new viewers and listeners around the world, a big warm welcome to all of you too. If you do enjoy the show, please like, share and comment, as it does help the algorithms, which over time should help build the show up and get me some more traction. But I'm in it for the long haul. I don't care about numbers at the minute. People will pick it up eventually, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. To those of you watching this on YouTube, don't forget that the audio is available on most streaming platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, just to mention a few. There's too many. See my link tree if you want other ways to watch or listen. And if you are listening back to this via one of the podcasting apps, please don't forget that the video version is available on my YouTube channel, and you can check out my other types of content too. Also, if you would like to be on the podcast, please email me at Illusive.media@hotmail.com or visit IEmedia.net and drop me a message on there, and I'll get back to you at some point. So, Ash, again, man, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. It's been great.
It's been really good. So if people do want to follow me like yourself, there's many of ways they can stalk me. So Instagram, DJ Ash Noble, Facebook, DJ Ash Noble or Ashley Noble. I'd probably post on that more. YouTube, DJ Ash Noble. SoundCloud, DJ Ash Noble. Get on all them, follow me. Mixes, clips of the production I'm working on. I share the rave flyers where I'm gigging next, the HullEnders, the LayToons. So you'll see everything I'm doing on these social accounts, so get at them.
Yeah, definitely. And if you want to book Ash for any DJ bookings, MCing, get it, or any acting, you know, come on Hollywood.
Exactly.
Give him a shout.
Yeah. Awesome, producer man. Of Coronation Street, slide into my DMs.
Yes.
Definitely.
Hey, I tell you what, big things are coming if you guys carry on this path.
Well, we'll keep going, and we'll see. We'll see how the years progress and what happens.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Peace, guys.
See you soon.
Episode 15 done, dusted. We may have another one. Stay tuned.